It's easy for us to live our life getting lost in the routines that we have and focusing on the things that we need to do, checking off things from our to-do list, and we can so easily become distracted by everything going on. We don't really think about the meaning behind what we're doing. Why are we doing what we're doing? What are the consequences of the decisions we're making? And in this video, I want to talk about the comfort zone, how it's easy to get stuck in the same routine, into familiarity, but what the costs of that mean for you. I'm Desh. I'm a counsellor who supports people in navigating complex, tricky situations in their lives and also putting out these videos to help support you in your own self-awareness. And I want to talk about the comfort zone. You know, when we go about our business, we feel relatively comfortable for the most part. There are going to be things like at work or at home that might stress us out. There may be situations that are quite difficult for us to navigate in our lives, and we may need extra support. We may feel overwhelmed. But generally speaking, if you're watching this and you feel that you're not really going through any major problem, you feel pretty comfortable, then you need to ask yourself, to what degree do you feel comfortable, and whether you're in the comfort zone, because being comfortable is not necessarily a good thing. Now, this is going to depend largely on your life experience. You may have experienced a really turbulent past. You may be living in a situation where there's a lot of conflicts, a lot of uncertainty. You may be in a wartime. So having that comfort is essential. It's a luxury to have that comfort. And you may be watching this really having had no real adversity in your life, no hardship. You've always felt pretty comfortable. But as a result of that, you feel stagnated. You feel that you pretty much every day is pretty much going by the same way. There's no excitement, there's no novelty, there's no newness, nothing that you can really attach to prove yourself or accomplish things or learn or push yourself out your comfort zone. So really, this comfort zone that we experience in our lives is good in that it gives us a sense of comfort. We're not uncomfortable, but you have to ask, this discomfort that I don't feel, is that the solution to living a fulfilled life? When we feel uncomfortable, it's not pleasant. And because it doesn't feel pleasant, we want to avoid it, typically speaking. But there's something to be said about leaning into the discomfort, staying with the discomfort, and seeing where it leads. For two reasons. First of all, it shows that you are able and capable of sitting with discomfort. That you have the resilience inbuilt within you to stay with the discomfort and to know that nothing's going to happen. Nothing bad's going to happen. Even if you feel very uncomfortable and your mind starts saying, you need to get out of this, you need to escape, you need to go back to not feeling uncomfortable, you need to go back to feeling comfortable where it's safe, you feel better. When you stay with it, you realize, okay, nothing bad's actually happening to me. I'm experiencing something that's, unpleasant, but maybe because I've never experienced this before, this is new. And maybe let me just sit with it and see where it goes. And it is through the resilience that you apply to situations where you feel uncomfortable, where another solution presents itself. Because the first solution we have is to escape the discomfort. So by escaping discomfort, it essentially means resorting to things that we are familiar with, because we're familiar with them. We no longer want to embark on a new journey. We no longer want to go down the path where there's unknowns. We want to go back to what we are familiar with and what we're comfortable with and what we're used to, because we know what's coming. It's comfortable, it's familiar. But the danger of being in this comfort zone is that you are stagnating. You are limiting your potential for growth, your potential to learn, your potential to try something new. And I firmly believe that a key part of being self-aware and the benefits of being self-aware is that you are more willing to open up to the areas where you're not accustomed, to try new things, to see what you might be good at, to see what other things you might be interested in. Because the truth is that in life, there's so many paths you can go down. In order to see what your potential is and where you can excel and what things do you enjoy and to try new things, it requires you to step outside of the comfort zone, basically outside of the familiar zone, and step into a world where things are now new or unfamiliar, or you don't know how you're going to react. You don't know what you're going to make of it. You don't know how well you're going to do. These are all questions that you have to face. And that's why it's uncomfortable. That's why it's called stepping out of the comfort zone. But that's also where the growth happens. Because as you step outside the comfort zone and you embark on new adventures, and traveling is a really good example of this. You know, a lot of people, young people especially, they go out, they want to travel, they want to go somewhere new, you know, with a backpack, just try to make it somewhere new. They don't speak the language, they're not familiar with the local customs, they just want to try and make it. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge to survive. It's, you know, a thrilling experience to do. And it's also a testament to how well you can adapt in a very new, unfamiliar situation. So that's a good example of really stepping outside of your comfort zone, because you're going somewhere completely new. You don't know what to expect. Yet the reason it's so enjoyable and people want to travel again and again is because they learn so much about themselves. They learn that they're capable. They learn that no matter where they go, it's all fine. I'll figure it out. So the danger of the comfort zone, it can provide us with limiting thoughts and beliefs that I need this life. I need this routine that I have now because I feel comfortable with it. The thought of me doing something else, I'm very uncomfortable with that. It doesn't make sense. So you need to ask yourself, well, how is this life currently serving me? Is it purely giving me comfort? Is it because there's an absence of discomfort? And is the absence of discomfort in itself worth sacrificing other things I could be doing that will help me to grow more or to learn more? If you are living a life where you're fairly comfortable, how well is that serving you? And the way to think about it is to think about consequences. And this is a way we don't really think. Think about the consequences of the decisions you make and how those consequences will play out in the longer term. So a good exercise that I do is to imagine that you're talking to yourself in 30 years' time. The 30-year older version of you, talking to them, and then looking back at you now, thinking, are they happy with the choices you made? Do they wish you made a different choice? That can be an insightful way to just be honest with the life you're living now. Because, let me tell you, you will meet that 30-year-old version of you. There's going to be regret. There's going to be times where you're like, you know what? I wish I made different choices when I was younger. I wish I tried something new. This is your opportunity. And it can really be difficult to do that because the fear of the unknown can hold us back. The fear of stepping out of our comfort zone, our little bubble, can hold us back. And while in the short term, having that comfort zone for yourself and kind of providing walls around yourself provides some relief. It may be that you're trying to distance yourself from some family members, from friends, from toxic relationships, from undertaking new ventures because it's just overwhelming, it's too much to deal with. In a way, you're kind of walling yourself off from your emotions because the thought of stepping out your comfort zone provides a great deal of fear. So you're trying to provide a barrier between you and that fear. So that fear is running the show. So you have to be honest with yourself here and ask, is that what's happening? Am I afraid to step out my comfort zone because I dislike the feeling of fear that comes with that and the fear of the unknown, that fact that I might fail, and what does failure mean to me, and all of these questions that start bubbling up. So if you're in your comfort zone and you stay in your comfort zone, it feels nice, it's comfortable. And because it feels nice and comfortable, you might think it's a good thing. I'm clearly on the right path, but not necessarily. Sometimes discomfort is a great thing. In fact, it's necessary in order to change and grow even more. And the version you become from that growth can handle even more than you currently are, and your potential then becomes more realized. And in fact, experiencing discomfort in a controlled sense, not in the sense that you would make yourself become overwhelmed, because that's counterproductive, but in a controlled sense where it's trickled down, where you are undertaking new things, where it is uncomfortable, but you still have a strong sense of self within that, you will then be closer to realizing your fullest potential down the line, to realizing that you are capable of more than you're currently living. but that the comfort you're experiencing is a guise, it's providing this veil over your ability to fully realize that. So is the comfort helping you or hurting you? So these are the questions you need to ask if you're in a comfort zone, or if you feel you're stagnated, if you feel you're not growing enough, maybe because life's too good. You need to change things up, and it's all in your control. So remember that you've got to think of consequences. What is the consequence of this decision I'm making? The good thing is I'm comfortable. I know it's a safe option, but maybe I'm missing out on something different. Even if I fail, at least I know that that's not the path for me. Or even if I fail, maybe I know that's an area I'm interested in and I need to improve in. So it's all about self-discovery. What is it I'm meant to do on this planet? What do I enjoy to do? What's my purpose? And all of these questions can be fleshed out once we step outside our comfort zone, once we embrace adventure, once we undertake the process of discovery. And it might be that taking adventure for you looks like just developing your self-awareness. Maybe just staying with an uncomfortable feeling for 10 seconds longer than you normally would, seeing where it leads to. Because a lot of what we're doing is not only trying to do new things and learn and grow, that growth mainly requires us to stay with the emotions that we're experiencing and be fully conscious of it. That in itself is a very difficult process, but it's a journey, just with anything else. The self-awareness that you can develop by staying with your emotions, being more aware of your emotions and the impact they have on you and your thoughts, how they make you feel great fear, how that fear then makes you want to avoid it and escape and run away. By staying with it, you are building your tolerance and resilience to know that I don't have to let these emotions dictate how I live. I don't have to let these emotions dictate the decisions I make. I can be consciously in control of the decisions I make and be conscious of the consequences of those decisions. So you have greater autonomy in your life. So while we think, comfort zone is this trivial thing, it feels nice, there's a great deal you're probably sacrificing by staying in the comfort zone. So remember, if you are in the comfort zone, if you feel comfortable in your life, it can be really difficult to go against that grain, because why would you? You're comfortable. Just ask yourself, what's the consequences of me staying in this comfort zone? What am I missing out on? Comment below what your experiences are of being in the comfort zone. What does that mean to you? What does it look like for you? What routines are in there? And what else would you like to try that's different? Please like and subscribe. There'll be more videos coming up soon.